Hello, my name is the Retro Gaming Goose, and welcome back to another December. I can't believe it's been a year, and for people that don't know, on my channel, every December I've randomly decided that it's Star Wars month. So everything I do is pretty much going to be Star Wars themed other than a few of the playthroughs. And I absolutely love Star Wars. I did a load of videos last year, and I've got even more this year because there's hundreds of Star Wars games, and I own loads of them. And I really wanted to kickstart this year with a game that I have a lot of fun with, a lot of love for this game. Star Wars Bounty Hunter. So Star Wars Bounty Hunter came out in 2002. It's an action-adventure game. It was released on the GameCube and the PlayStation 2. Weirdly, this one never came to Xbox, but, you know, if you had a PS2 and GameCube, I'm sure you've probably played this game. Released in line with the Attack of the Clones, Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, it kind of serves as a prequel to Jango Fett's story. So if you ever wanted to find out more about the guy that was hired by another guy who then hires another person who then delegates that job to some centipedes to try and assassinate someone, this is the game for you. Now, this game is now considered, the story to this game is now considered in the Star Wars Legends, so it's not actually canon, but it's like kind of happened. It's a legend of the Star Wars universe, but it is absolutely wild to me that this is, at one stage, was considered canon to Star Wars. So the story follows everyone's favourite Kiwi, Jango Fett, as he sort of like goes on like how he became the notorious bounty hunter he is. You get involved with like all of these different Star Wars crime syndicates, and you also talk to Count Dooku a lot and end up having to try and assassinate a Dark Jedi, not a Sith, a Dark Jedi. And yeah, it's really fun. That's the one thing I will say about this game. One thing I was really surprised with going back and capturing footage for this game was how fun it is, because a lot of the Star Wars games haven't really aged that well, but this one was like surprisingly good. So this game was both developed and published by LucasArts. It was directed by a guy called Joel Knowles, which I just think it sounds like a made-up name, but it's probably not. He's probably really famous. And yeah, it was written by Hayden Blackman. And weirdest of all, absolutely craziest to me, the score for this, other than the John Williams score like the Star Wars classic scores, most of this was scored by Jeremy Soule of Skyrim fame, or Elder Scrolls fame. The guy that composed all of the music for the Elder Scrolls composes all the music for this, and the music is absolutely fantastic. One of the things I do actually really like in this game is it's got the shooting mechanics. The dual pistols are really fun. It works really well. You can hit 2 targets at once, which is, it kind of just automatically does, so it like whoever you're aiming at is your primary target, and then it will lock on to someone else who is seen as a threat, which is really good because it like the quickness of it, you feel like a proper gunslinger. It's really nice and really fluid. Like the combat is really fluid, the platforming is really fluid, because this is a classic adventure platformer game. So I would say the closest thing to compare this to would be like one of the original Tomb Raider games, and if you're into that, fantastic. It's really good. For a 2002 PlayStation and GameCube game, the graphics on this are pretty good. I'm playing this on the PlayStation 2 game, or PlayStation 2 platform, and yeah, it runs really smoothly. Like, I'm really surprised with how well this game runs and how it looks and everything, and it's just, yeah, it's great. Now, one of the things I will say is that there is a little bit of I don't know whether I skipped a cutscene or the cutscene just didn't appear, but it is a bit hard to know what's going on to start off with. You do get some more in-game cutscenes a bit later on, but I don't know whether I was supposed to watch like the intro movie to understand how this game starts, because you press start and you start fighting this monster in a pit, and I'm like, what am I doing here? What's going on? Will this be explained? No, it doesn't get explained. You just got to kind of know what's going on, which, you know, that is what it is. Some old games were like that. They kind of expected you to like read the blurb. But I had this game when I was younger. I had the GameCube version of this game. I don't actually know what's actually happened to it. It's probably somewhere, but I played it a lot on the GameCube, and I think the PlayStation 2 version is a little bit better. It seemed to run a bit smoother and just seem a bit more fluid from what I remembered. I don't know whether I'm just sort of looking at it through like rose tinted glasses now, or I just had low expectations going in for some of these old Star Wars games. But it was really fun. It's a really good game. I really recommend this, just as a fun romp. The main campaign's not very long. As you can see, the footage that I've captured is all from the start of the game because I don't want to show any spoilers. So this is kind of like the tutorial level and whatnot. But yeah, the story to this game's not that long. I think it's about 6 or 7 hours, so you can easily do this in one sitting. The one thing I will say though is that the gameplay does get a little bit repetitive. It is a lot of just go here, shoot everyone, pick up a new weapon, shoot everyone with the new weapon. And then there's some very bizarre platforming sections that you don't often realise are supposed to be platforming sections. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. If it looks like it shouldn't be a platformer, it probably is a platform. Also as well, with this particular bit that you're watching now, I was convinced that there was something else going on in here. I thought these poles that you jump onto would swing, and I was trying to work out how to swing, but I realised that that's not actually the mechanic. It was just a random thing to climb on like that. And yeah, that took me far too long to work out. And then just, there's a little bit of like that PlayStation 2 platformer jankiness, but you know, is what it is. It was still pretty fun. I still really enjoy it. One of the things I do really enjoy in this is that Tamura Morrison, really sorry if I butchered his name, the actor that played Jango Fett reprises his role to voice everything, and it sounds really fucking good. Like, it's really cool. He actually puts in a performance rather than just going through his lines, which I really respect for some like A-list celebrities when they just don't bother. But he actually seemed to care, because I think he does care about the character as well, having returned last year or whenever it was for Book of Boba Fett. Like, it's quite nice to have the voice to the player, the character that you're playing. Like, it's a nice little cherry on the cake. Now, one of the things looking back at this now, I was looking at the reviews for this game when it came out. They weren't that good. They're really not that good. They're sitting around like the 50%, 50 out of 100, 6 out of 10s. So I was expecting like this game to be pretty bad, but not to be a great game. And I can't work out why it was held to such high esteem. Like, why people have graded it so badly, because it's not a bad game. It's really quite good, and I think it just got a lot of unfair hate because critics at the time said it was bad, but I don't think it is at all. I think maybe the issue is that Knights of the Old Republic had either just come out or was about to come out, so people had a big expectation for Star Wars games at the time, and yeah, it just was. It's nowhere near as good as like the first Knights of the Old Republic, but it's still a good game. One of the things that is really cool in this game, as you progress through the story, you get sort of little side missions. You've got, like, as you're sort of in these open level areas where there's more NPCs around, you'll get a little notification that there's like a bounty on an NPC, and you can capture them, and you get extra credits and extra money and stuff like that, or extra points. I don't even know like what you could use it for, but yeah, it's a really cool mechanic, which I feel like is a little bit underutilized, where there isn't much point to it other than it's there to do. It unlocks a few extra stuff, but yeah, it was a really cool thing, and I feel like if there had been a sequel to this, it could have really expanded. Like, if they'd done a Boba Fett Bounty Hunter to continue it, set in like the just after the rise of the Emperor, that would have been a really cool storyline. It would have been the Mandalorian game that everyone kind of wants now, and I think that's something that was like, it was a cool concept, cool idea, but it didn't quite hit the home run sort of thing. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed this game. I really recommend checking it out. You can get it quite cheap now. I think I picked this up for about a tenner off eBay. But yeah, PlayStation, GameCube, I would preferably go for the PlayStation 2 version, but yeah, no, really recommend it. Really fun time, had a great time. But thank you very much for watching. My name's been the Retro Gaming Goose. Please remember to like the video, comment below if you have a favourite Star Wars character, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.